You ever have one of those days where you get home, just bone tired from hauling boxes for family, dreaming of a hot shower and a quiet minute, and instead, you get police guns pointed at your head before you can even step out of your car? Yeah, that happened to me. And if you think that sounds wild, wait till you hear how fast a quiet Sunday can turn into a scene from some cable copter manuscript. No warning, just you, your driveway, and the sharp snap of a walkie-talkie in the air. I'm Danielle Ruckerwell. I was, until that day, made me somebody else to half the country. All I wanted was to get home after helping my cousin move in Sacramento. I was dead tired, still in my old Fort Bragg hoodie and boots, hair tied back, dogs sleeping in their crates behind Metwo Belgian Malinois, Rex and Nova, trained by me, calmer than I ever could be. My house isn't much, but it's mine, bought with army paychecks, every inch hard-earned. So I pull in, hit the garage opener, barely notice the new neighbor lady across the street, slim, athletic, yoga mat in hand, watching with that look you get when someone's talking to you, but you know the conversation's about something else entirely. Next thing I know, sirens for police cruisers, lights blazing, swing into my cul-de-sac like they're raiding a cartel safe house. One blocks my driveway, another shuts down the street, doors fly open, and I get a chorus of, "Step out of the vehicle. Hands where we can see them," like I'm holding up a bank instead of parking my own SUV. For a second, I honestly thought, is this for real? So I roll my window down, excuse me, trying to keep my voice steady, my hands visible, not moving too fast, you know how it is. The officer's one tall, white guy, maybe late 30s, gun drawn and eyes flat. Another crouched by the hedges, radio crackling. They tell me, "We got a call about a break-in. You match the description." Yeah, because a black woman, Army vet, in her own front yard with a pair of military working dogs is just the most likely burglar in the world, right? I tell them, steady as I can, "This is my house. I live here. My name's on the deed." But you know, sometimes you talk and nobody hears. From the back of my SUV, Rex gives a single bark low, controlled. Nova stays quiet, trained to wait. I do what I've done 100 times on deployment, move slow. Say little, keep your eyes up. I reach down, tap twice on the console, and the locks click. The back door opens, officers tense. Fingers on triggers, and out steps Rex, all muscle and focus. Vest labeled U.S. Military K9 Do Not Pet. Nova follows, light tan, just as cool. They take their positions beside me. Not a sound, not a flinch, just waiting for my word. That's when the vibe changes, not relief. More like, "Wait, who are you?" I get out slow, hands empty. My name's Danielle Rucker. I served 12 years active duty, 6 in K9 Special Ops. These are my dogs. I live here. I show them my veteran ID. My license, every move slow, deliberate. One officer, Perez, takes my ID, checks it, glances at me, at the dogs. "They military dogs?" he asks, voice cracking. "Yes, sir. Trained by me." I don't have to say that they don't bite unless I tell them to. Rex takes a step closer, calm as always. You could feel the shift, the officers realizing, maybe for the first time, that the threat was never me. And that neighbor, the woman with the yoga mat? She's standing there, arms folded, phone out, no apology, just a shrug. "Didn't recognize you," she says, like that explains everything. I ask, "You've lived here how long?" She says, "A few months." I tell her, "I've been here 5 years, mowed that lawn, every Saturday, never thought to wave." She just blinks, and honestly, I wish I could say I was surprised. The officers start to back off, weapons lowering, shuffling awkward, muttering about procedures. Perez hands me back my ID. "There's been a mistake." "You think?" I tell him, "You could have just checked the mailbox, said hello, asked a question like a person." He doesn't answer, but everyone in that driveway hears it. The neighbor drifts away, silent, but she doesn't know someone filmed the whole thing. Gone older guy, Franklin Yates, who's lived on the block forever, recorded the moment on his porch. His video gets uploaded, and within a day, it's viral, 500,000 views, comments flying. I didn't even know about it until my cousin texted me the link. Watching it was like seeing yourself from outside me. Posture. Rex at my side, Nova between me and the cop. I didn't cry, didn't get angry, just felt hollow. Because this wasn't the first time, but it cut deeper, right here where I was supposed to be safe. The fallout comes quick. The neighbor's name, Kimberlyn Faulner, starts trending. People flood her page with comments, some supportive, most angry, a few just cruel. News vans show up down the block. Officer Perez files his report. The department launches an internal review. The police chief puts out a statement about commitment to community safety. No one says anything to me. Not a word. For days, I walk Rex and Nova, head down, reporters shouting questions about race, about police training, about whether my dogs saved my life. The local paper runs a headline: veteran homeowner confronted by police, military canines, may have prevented tragedy. The irony stings. These dogs were trained for war, but here they are, just standing so I don't get shot in my own driveway. That night, messages pour in. From veterans, dog handlers, strangers, some angry, some grateful, all of them wanting something to change. One stands out: a Marine, now a K9 trainer, says, "Your control in that moment was incredible." Most would have panicked. "Your dogs told the world who you are." I read that and feel seen, but also tired. Because all I did was exist, and that was enough to get a gun drawn. A few days later, Kimberlyn shows up in my door-button-down shirt, apologies tripping over her lips. "I didn't mean for it to go that far," she says. I don't let her in, just stand there, Rex at my heel. "You didn't know who I was, so you called 911? I ask, "What looks suspicious, the truck, the dogs, or me?" She fumbles, finally says, "I'm sorry." I nod, not forgiveness, just done. "I hope you tell your friends that," I say, and close the door. It keeps snowballing. The mayor calls a meeting, sits with me in my kitchen, says this isn't who we are. I tell him, it happened right here because no one could imagine I belonged. If my dogs hadn't been there, I don't know how it would have ended. He promises retraining, protocols, community forums. I just want to come home and breathe. A note slips under my door, and signed, "Thank you for standing your ground. My daughter saw your video. She asked if she'd be safe if she looked like you." Now I have an answer. That note meant more than any news story, more than any apology. People in the neighborhood change. Some cross the street to say hi. A little boy asks to pet the army dogs. A few leave flowers on my porch. Others avoid me. Kimberlyn deletes her social media, parks her car blocks away. The officers get reassigned to desk. No admission of guilt, just quiet consequences. Podcast invites come, then news stations. I turn them down until my cousin says, "If you don't talk, they'll twist your story. Use your words." So I sit down with a local journalist. No lights, no makeup, just my front porch and a folding chair. I tell the story: deployments, training Rex to find explosives, Nova's first mission, coming home thinking I could finally rest. All I wanted was a patch of grass and a place to walk my dogs, I say, without someone looking at me like I don't belong. That interview hits harder than the viral clip because it's just one person talking to another, no drama, just honesty. The city council calls a public forum. People say misunderstanding, mutual responsibility. I sit in back, hoodie up, Rex at my feet, Nova asleep under my chair, try not to say anything. But when the third person uses miscommunication, I stand up and walk to the mic. My name's Danielle Rucker. I'm a veteran. I live on Rosewood Drive. Last week I got home after helping my cousin move. Before I even turned off my car, guns were pointed at my head. People asked how I stayed calm. I didn't want to. I had to. Because people like me don't get the luxury of panic. If I'd yelled or moved too fast, this conversation might be happening without me here. That should bother you. I let the words hang. I had to stand next to two military dogs for anyone to listen. Think about that. People clap, but I just walk back to my seat. No drama, no victory. Just the truth, finally spoken, in a room full of people who can't say they didn't hear it. Weeks later, the department announces new rules: property checks before drawing weapons. They call it the Rucker Rule. I don't celebrate, but I do breathe easier. The best moment comes quiet. In the grocery store, teenager in a hoodie says, "You're the lady with the dogs, right? My mom says you're scary." I don't think so. I laugh, tell him, "I'm only scary before coffee." I never wanted to be a headline, but if my story makes even one person pause before they call the cops, or makes one officer ask before they act, maybe that's worth it. If you've listened this far, Remember, your story matters, your voice matters, but sometimes you have to speak loud enough that nobody can pretend not to hear. And when they finally pause to listen, make sure what you say is true. So how do you think? Did justice happen here? Or is this just another story in a long line we still have to fix? Let's talk about it.